seconds. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Greetings from Confederation of Medical Association of Asia and Oceania. This is our 29th meeting. Our regular meeting will also happen tomorrow. I hand it over to the chair, Dr. Chong, to chair this meeting.
Thank you, President, and welcome everyone to our meeting. As you all know, the WMA is ongoing right now for the last couple of days, and I will invite Dr. Ottmar Kloiber tomorrow to our regular CMAAO Saturday meeting, and hopefully he can also get the new president, the new WMA president, to address us tomorrow for a short while. I think Alvin has spoken to me and said that he would like to discuss certain things about the Taipei statement. Is that right, Alvin?
Right.
Before Alvin speak, I was disturbed on first day when Hong Kong moved a resolution and they could not get a second. These types of things should not happen in the CMAAO countries, because if you are not getting a seconder from a CMAAO, I was there as a observer, so I could not have moved any resolution I wanted to. But this, if one of us is moving anything, at least this shouldn't happen, that we are not even getting a seconder. Then our unity doesn't come in. Then our unity doesn't come in. Then our presence doesn't come in. And that was the reason I said last week that we should have a meeting where if anybody of you is moving any motion, this shouldn't look like that we are not united and we are not even getting a seconder. So I was disturbed on the very first day when Hong Kong would not get a seconder. It means that we were...
Sorry, I don't understand what you are talking about, the president. What motion? What about Hong Kong? I didn't know anything about it.
Okay, there was some motion which was created by Hong Kong Medical Association on the first day. It was dropped because there was no second.
No, I don't understand. What do you mean? Hong Kong is not a member, it's not a council member at all.
Okay, then it's okay. Yeah, I'm only trying to say is that if any one of our member country is passing any resolution or moving any motion in WMA, our other CMAAO countries should support them. This is what I'm trying to say. Go ahead.
What happened is yesterday. I don't know, because I was not attending the council meeting because Hong Kong is not a council member. What motion have been proposed by what NMA? I really don't know.
Forget about it. I'm only trying to say is that whatever is being discussed, we should support each other. That's all. I'm making only one broad statement that anything in CMAAO countries should be supported by each other. That's all. You go ahead, Alvin. You wanted to say something other than this?
No. Who was there yesterday? Dr. Zhong, were you there yesterday?
No, this happened on day one. They were talking on some issues of Hong Kong. By the time I joined late, and they
day one. So it's a committee meeting. Is it a committee meeting?
Council meeting.
Council meeting. So is it the Chinese Medical Association or Taiwan Medical Association who had raised the problem about Hong Kong, or? I really don't know what is that.
I don't remember, but when I joined, the discussion going was that Hong Kong Medical Association gets dropped because there was no seconder. So I could not listen to what was the issue.
Oh, I see. So in any case, I think that's a problem. It's just because I think, first of all, last year, the Secretary General, Ottmar Kloiber, had reported in their, I don't know what's that, it's a council meeting, something like that, that they had denounced the Hong Kong medical doctors who they thought had refused to treat protesters, injured protesters. And then they denounced that Hong Kong doctors had reported to police, so that the police arrested that injured protesters. But then those were not facts, and they had not checked with the facts, and then so that's why you had. I think it's the Chinese Medical Association who had objected to it, because Hong Kong, after all, is not a council member, so we didn't know anything about it.
Okay. Okay.
And then this year, earlier, the Human Rights Committee, I guess, something like that, had again commented that the Hong Kong medical care had a breakdown in the management of the rioters or protesters. Again, so that's something deviant from the facts, what happened in Hong Kong. So again, having reported something like this without the presence of Hong Kong Medical Association is, of course, regretful, I think. And
maybe I only heard what I told. So my objective of discussion here was that our CMAAO countries should support each other. That's all. So I don't even know the issue, because by the time I joined, I only heard this what I said. So carry on with your next agenda, Elvin.
No. Sorry, I have to continue. But then even the chairman, Dr. Montgomery, had visited Hong Kong in December, and he was impressed by the serenity and tranquility in Hong Kong. But anyway, Chinese Medical Association, they thought that they would voice out for Hong Kong that reporting things like this without fact check with the National Member Association is not preferable. And of course, because Hong Kong MA is not a member of the council, we have no voice there. And but I don't know whether this will be brought up today in the General Assembly. Perhaps the Chinese Medical Association will do. And they seem to bring up an issue about the observer status of Taiwan in the WHO.
Dr. Pillai, Elvin, Dr. Marthanda Pillai is a council member. Dr. Pillai, what happened on day one regarding Hong Kong? If you were attended that meeting, because he is a council member. Can we unmute? Yes.
Yeah. I'm also sorry because I didn't sit through the whole procedure. And this particular incident, when it happened, I was not attending the meeting.
Have you seen the minutes of the council? Do you have the minutes of the council?
There, specifically, such mentions I didn't find.
Okay.
Only two other aspects was that one is changing the physician-patient relationship to patient-physician relationship, which again I thought was a little odd, because the key word is relationship, and the onus definitely is on the physician rather than on the patient. So the dominant element is the physician. So when you change it, then I think the responsibility is more on the patient than on the physician. Anyway, with some objection, it was passed. Second, of course, a major issue that was discussed was about the organ donation, what is happening in China, where prisoners who are executed, their organs were harvested for transplant, which was generally objected, but no resolution could come through on that issue. Thank you.
Yes, Elvin.
Just one clarification here, please. Is Chinese Medical Association part of WMA? Because if I remember, they didn't want to become part of MMA because of Taiwan being there.
No, they are a council member, in fact. Chinese Medical Association is a council member as well.
Okay.
They are, yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So I think I had joined the council meeting discussion only at the last minute, although I'm not a council member. So I just heard the last comment by Dr. Wonchak, who expressed that he's disappointed about the political inclination in the discussions about Uyghurs. That is the Xinjiang problem. But I really had not listened to the discussions per se. So I don't know what was discussed then.
Okay, we carry on with the Dr. Chong. Any other thing?
Alvin, you mentioned
First of all,
something about
First of all, Chong, first of all, we welcome Dr. Benito from Philippine Medical Association.
Yes.
Is joining after a long time. So you tell us what our weekly meetings so that they can join every week. Dr.
Yes.
Chong.
Hi, Benito. Good to see you. We actually have this weekly Saturday meeting with all the CMAAO members, and quite a large number of us attend. And for the last 20-odd meetings was all about COVID and how do we address COVID. Most of it was addressed by how do we fight COVID in various countries and so on, and sharing our experiences. So we welcome you again tomorrow to join us on the Saturday meeting.
What time?
It's not okay. I think it is
1 hour before. 1 hour before this meeting.
Yeah, 1 hour before this meeting.
Whatever is your scheduled time,
Yeah.
let it be 1 hour before in your country.
Yeah.
Because it is 1:00 p.m. here today.
That's okay. Then 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Yeah.
12 o'clock.
So we welcome you to our weekly meeting tomorrow. I will try to get hold of Otmar Kleiber. I couldn't get hold of him last few days. And hopefully we'll try to ask him to get the WMA president who's newly elected to address us as well. So we'll wait for his reply. Nevertheless, we'll still carry on with the meeting regardless, if they join us or not. But this has been most useful because President has been very good in leading us through this whole COVID crisis. And I think he must have read tons, almost everything that was written and published on COVID. And for our benefit, of course, President had done all the hard work. So anyway, today we wanted to just discuss about WMA, and I think Alvin had certain things to bring up. Am I right? I saw your emails. Do you want to continue to talk to us about the Taipei statement and so on?
Well, sorry, that thing, I think this year, I don't think we could have a Taipei statement per se, because last time I think the president had mentioned that we had discussed about it already 2 months ago, but then I had communicated with JMA and also the Secretariat. So they also agree that from the M&A, from the Constitution, both of WMA and also in CMAAO, all resolutions should be proposed in the General Assembly and resolved, passed as a motion there before we can release a statement from CMAAO or from WMA. So that's why I told them as well, and the legal advisor agreed with me. And so I think this year could not have a CMAAO Taipei statement per se, because we didn't have a Taipei CMAAO meeting at all. And we didn't have, no one had proposed to have such a statement and then seconded. So I think it's not legitimate to do so. But of course, they probably would share their the so-called statement there as the Taipei's own initiative. And then next year, when we have the CMAAO meeting there, then we will pass a statement there, a Taipei statement as such. I think so.
Point taken, Alvin. I hear you. I think I saw the email trail, and JMA Dr. Sho Hashimoto, is that right?
Yeah. The current.
Has replied. So we understand the situation. And is there anything else you want to bring up about this matter?
You mean the COVID-19 matter or our CMAAO presence? Now, I think today will be the General Assembly, in fact, WMA. So I guess I appreciate it very much that the president had just now mentioned that if there's anything about us, if we could have the solidarity, that would be great. Well, but I don't know whether it would be mentioned in the General Assembly about the report in Hong Kong again. So I don't know. Not in the agenda, of course, but if Chinese Medical Association raised it up, then of course, in Hong Kong Medical Association, we would think that we probably won't kick up a fuss, of course. Yeah. While the WMA had used the word to denounce, the medical profession in Hong Kong in dealing with the protesters, I think they should apologize, in fact, because it's not like that. The Hong Kong doctors had given the basic medical care to the injured protesters, but because that was a private hospital, and private hospitals in Hong Kong won't deal with a medical legal case. And that's why that patient was referred to a public hospital. So it's not because of political matters at all. So, and whether to report to police is the hospital management's decision, not the doctor's decision. And Hong Kong Medical Association is not a judiciary body that we could rule on the behavior of the doctors, whether they are right or not. And we have no power to condemn the hospital management to report to the police. So basically, they could not rush to, WMA should not rush to the conclusion to denounce the Hong Kong medical people in that incident. It's a regret that they didn't communicate with us, they didn't fact check, and then they denounce us in their report already. So if, in fact, last year I had confronted Otmar. It's his responsibility, in fact. I think he had not done his job. But of course, it's already 1 year ago. We won't kick up a fuss again. But this year, if you had read from the report again, they again report there's a medical breakdown in Hong Kong in some incidents, which we didn't agree. The Hong Kong Medical Association didn't agree. So we had written a letter to WMA.
Can I ask?
Yes. Dr. Elvin, are you now requesting that CMAAO writes a letter to WMA to say that this was wrongly worded or whatever?
I think from the spirit that Dr. Agawa had expressed just now, of course, if we have support for each other, that would be great. But then I think that is, as far as I remember, if you read from the documents, it's only a report from one committee, of WMA. It's not a report from the council. It's a report from the committee that had mentioned about the breakdown in medical care of Hong Kong, which is far from truth, of course. We didn't have any breakdown in the medical care in Hong Kong. The most that they could say is that while, there is a police raid into an occupied university somehow a few months ago. So when they raided into the university, they arrested everybody inside, including some doctors and nurses who volunteered as humanitarian medical aid for the people there. They are not protesters, they are not rioters, they are just volunteers. And yet the police had also arrested them. So that was something that we objected to the police. But that was not a breakdown of the medical care in Hong Kong. It's far from truth. They can't generalize it. And you can read from the documents they had. The title was, there was a breakdown in medical care in Hong Kong. I mean, that is far from truth. It's even worse than the headings of some paparazzi tabloid newspaper, you know. I think that is very bad.
Yeah. Can I just ask a question, because I don't know about the incident about a year ago where the where the private hospital turned away the patient. Of course, the patient was not did not have life-threatening injuries at that point in time, right?
No. He has some injury to the limbs, I think, and then the doctors there had given the wound management to that patient. And because they didn't take care of medical legal cases, so they referred that patient to the public hospital. But then while referring to the public hospital, the hospital management, not the doctor, had reported to the police. And so I think the doctors from other Western countries were most indignant about this. So they thought it's the doctor who had refused the management and reported to the police, leading to the arrest of that protesters. And that is not fact.
Okay.
All right.
Understood. I mean, most important is that the patient is treated before referred to another
public hospital. Yes.
It was a life-threatening injury. Most important is treated and stabilized before, moving to a different facility. I think that's the most important obligation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and I hear President's call to us about unity. I think if we ever had to raise anything in WMA, I think CMAAO should speak as one voice. I think that's very important. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So otherwise, as this was a hastily called meeting, is there anybody else that wishes to say anything about this?
I just want to say is that if Alvin can submit a report to us, and based on that report, we can appoint like WMA has appointed a committee. We can also appoint a committee of 3-member countries to look into that particular document. And that document, we can put it down as a CMAAO opinion. As WMA has created a committee to look into that, CMAAO can also do that. So we can also have 3-member committee to go through the documents and submit its report. So that can be a clarification on the report of the WMA. That's the way CMAAO can help. Okay, so we will, I'll ask Dr. Chong to invite everybody tomorrow at 9:30, 1 hour before today's meeting time. And all of us meet tomorrow, and we will try to call people. So Ravi, make sure that you call Malaysia, new president, all new people, we will try to call them. And Dr. Pillai, you can talk to both secretary and president to be there tomorrow. So every country can call their respective people. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Dr. Chong.
Somebody else is joining. Just one.
Somebody else is joining. Who is? Yes, Kar is joining. Our vice chair is joining. So Dr. Koh, how are you?
It's fine.
So we are just, we had decided that in tomorrow's meeting, we will like to have the new president of WMA, if possible, and the Secretary General to address us. And tomorrow we'll make sure all our countries participate tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so tomorrow be there in time, everybody.
Thank you. I have to rush to another meeting. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.